Hey everybody, my name is MetalMusicMan.
And I'm Professor Lex.
And this is episode 9. We remembered what episode it was, because I tweeted about it.
Yes.
I did. I mean, not we. I did. Yeah, I remember
it. We got that out of the way. We being you.
Yes.
We did our homework.
Good
we
job.
Again being you.
Me. Good job.
I'm so proud of us. Yeah.
And we were talking about in our little chat that we do, where we were talking about ideas that we had, and Lex was like, "What ideas do you have?" And I said, "I don't have any ideas at all." And then Lex said, "What if we made a tweet and asked people questions?" And I was like, "That sounds like a great idea." And I didn't think anyone was really going to respond, but we got a couple of you guys. So thank you everybody who likes this podcast. That's cool.
Yeah, they listen to us. They ask us questions. This is like feedback. This is like a real production.
It almost feels like we're doing something.
Consistently.
Yeah, it's
more than 2 months.
It's crazy, man. Man. Thanks, COVID, for ruining the world.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah, ruining the world and making all of this wonderful. So I think we're just going to dive right into the questions, because there's a lot of them, and they'll probably take a while to go through. So I'll start with, I guess I'll just go in order that Twitter has them, which is apparently, and I'm annoyed right now, apparently is not chronological, because the first one that I'm reading is from Pharaoh, and I know that's not the first one we got, but we will throw caution to the wind. We will go with the algorithm's graces. And
yes,
Pharaoh, you're number one, and his question is, well, it's not even a question. He says
his demand.
To be fair, I did ask for suggestions too. He wants a Professor Lex review of Final Fantasy VII. Which we may be here all night already. Here we go. Yeah, that's like asking me about what my butt's doing or something. This is gonna.
It's an involved question.
Nothing's quite like that, but yeah.
So I don't know if as many people get these nice breakdowns that I do for you, but this is going to be my story review for Final Fantasy VII Remake. So to that end, there will be some spoilers. I am covering the contents of the game. If you have not finished the game, or if you care deeply about going in blind, maybe skip a couple minutes and we'll check
forward to a place. Yeah. Yes.
We'll let you know when it's done. But yeah, so Final Fantasy VII-R is basically if everyone got together and decided that Final Fantasy 13 was actually really fun and good, and stopped pretending that just because a game is super linear that it's bad. In Final Fantasy VII-R, you play as Cloud Strife, the world's prettiest eco-terrorist who is only in it for the money and the hot chicks. In fact, the biggest and most obvious improvement over the original game is that they gave Jessie considerably more screen time and suggestive armor. In the original Final Fantasy VII, I don't know if everybody knows this, but the game was supposed to take place in New York City, and you'd be following the trail of a serial killer, Sephiroth, whose presence would be known, but who you wouldn't see physically.
I have to interrupt you briefly.
Yeah.
Did you write an essay? Is that what this is? Did you actually write the review?
Yeah, I prepped.
Okay.
It's all very stream of consciousness. So
I had no idea. All right, let's go. All right, sorry. So there's terrorists.
Terrorism. The original version of Final Fantasy VII, before the original game came out, back when it was still in design, they were going to set it in New York City. A lot of these ideas would eventually get shoehorned into Parasite Eve, or copy-pasted and mushed around, because there was a lot of speculation on what exactly Final Fantasy VII was going to be. But
Parasite Eve?
Parasite Eve. It's Final Fantasy. It's Square Enix's third-person survival horror RPG that came out in, I want to say, like 1997, 1998.
Okay, so they were going to maybe cannibalize some of the stuff, but decided to not do that and do this instead? Yes?
Right. They took a lot of ideas and then separated. There's Xenogears, Chrono Trigger, Parasite Eve, Final Fantasy VII as we know it. All of it got mushed and squished and messed around. Okay. But the idea is that you were chasing the serial killer who would ultimately turn into Sephiroth, who we all know and love. And you wouldn't, his presence would be known to you, but you wouldn't see him physically until very late in the game. In the actual release of the 1997, the PS1 version of Final Fantasy VII, you actually don't see Sephiroth until pretty deep in the game, but you do feel his presence, see the things he's done, people he's scared, giant Nordic snakes that he's shish kebabbed. In the remake, on the other hand, I guess they must have realized that the length of the game wouldn't allow for his appearance, so they made up for it by putting him all over the goddamn place, by making Cloud hallucinate, and that's fine. It's okay and acceptable for the ghosts of Cloud's past to haunt him. but about ghosts. There you are playing along, having a ton of fun and nostalgia about a game that came out 23 years ago. Suddenly, the plot starts taking you in an unfamiliar direction. The hottie that didn't have so much personality in the original starts making horny eyes at you, offering to pay you to come see her after hours for a little one-on-one after-hours eco-terrorism, if you catch my drift. While you're sitting there doing the math on whether sexual services can be considered mercenary work or if Cloud has been remade and reimagined into a working girl, boom, ghosts. Hundreds of them. You've been cock-blocked from beyond the grave. A tornado of ghosts makes sure you can't have sex with Jessie. They also sprain her leg or something. With Jessie incapacitated, you have to continue to play the game you remember from your childhood. Mostly with some yeah.
A tornado of ghosts?
A tornado of ghosts.
I'm here for all of this, but there is Bing Bang Boom, and I'm still stuck on tornado of ghosts preventing you from having sex with someone while spraining your leg. So okay. So in the original game, there was Biggs and Wedge. They're the classic standbys in Final Fantasy. Biggs and Wedge.
Jessie.
Okay.
Biggs and Wedge. Yeah, they're from the Star Wars, right? So then Jessie is the girl of the group, and she makes things and like set up your ID passcode so that you don't get pinged by the security scanners. And that's pretty much the limit of her character in the original game. In this, they were like, what if she's got contoured body armor so that you can still see her cleavage, even though she's wearing...
Of course. Of course. Yeah. I mean, of course.
She's actually really cool. I did like her presentation in this game. And the moment that she's like, hey, so do you want to come over tomorrow? I'll make you some pizza.
Who doesn't like
You're
pizza?
like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah, I want some pizza.
And she's like, I got the finest ingredients. And you're like, yeah, I know what that means. I'm getting some pizza. And then like ghosts are like, nope. And then there's a tornado of ghosts and like a tiny mini boss fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And they just like drag her around and they break her leg. And you're like, oh no, we were going to eat pizza.
Okay, well, I have all the context. Thank you.
Yeah, see, now you're caught up.
No,
okay, so she's incapacitated, and then you get to go back to playing the game like you remember it. Some slight changes, a few embellishments, certainly nothing that would completely change the direction of the game or future installments. Psych! The game jumps the shark. And I would like to take this opportunity to say that this is not to be confused with that time in the original game where you coordinate with a dolphin named Mr. Dolphin to launch Cloud up a power plant so that he can get to an airbase to do terrorism and practice goose stepping. Yes.
Okay.
No, the game jumps the metaphorical shark, and Sephiroth shows up out of nowhere again, except this time he kills Barrett. Except Barrett doesn't die there in the original game, and the ghosts take umbrage with that and bring Barrett back to life. Then they tell Sephiroth he's not supposed to be here at this point in the game, and Sephiroth is like, piss off, ghosts. But then he leaves anyway, giving the ghosts what they want. And then Aerith turns to the camera and says to the player, this is make anymore. Some time travel fuckery has occurred, and so now the game has a different plot. The ghosts represent the wishes of the fans of the game to stay the same in the remake. Like Sephiroth, we must tell the ghosts to piss off. And then you fight a really tall ghost by killing shorter ghosts that represent the destiny of specific characters because their hands are the same weapons as the characters or something. And then Sephiroth is there because of course he is, and then you fight him, and it's all very anime, and I love it. Anyway, the moral of the story is, if you played the original game, you are a ghost, the whisper of a memory, and you must piss off. 9 out of 10 would recommend.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't want to slow you down again, but I don't know that I ever got past when you
Tornado
said
of Ghosts.
Well, no, we did that, and then right after Tornado of Ghosts, you said the ghosts took umbrage, and my brain never got past it. It was like a speed bump. It was like a speed bump of a sentence. The fact that you actually sat down and were like, the ghosts took umbrage with the situation.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay, what? You are a ghost? You're saying?
No, me personally, Alex, yes. The guy who played Final Fantasy back in the 90s.
You're the ghost, and you don't matter.
I'm the ghost. Yeah, it's like the Sixth Sense. Well, it's not that
and
you
the
don't
ghosts represent your wishes.
The ghosts represent my wishes, and I wanted the game to be a remake like they advertised it was going to be. And then they were like, psych, fuck you, piss off, ghosts. And Sephiroth like slashes the ghosts and walks off like he's not supposed to. They physically go off the rails, and then with the implication that the next game will probably be less remake, more alternate continuity. I've heard grumblings,
which is weird and dumb,
time
in my opinion, as someone who has never played the game and does not give a single fuck about Final Fantasy. Why the fuck would you remake a game and not remake it?
Yeah, I like the direction that it took. I just want to have known that was what was going to happen.
It doesn't make any sense. And then I'll draw a line here too. We talked about a couple podcasts ago some of our favorite first-person shootery type games, and one of them for me is Mirror's Edge. And I'm still really planning to replay this during crazy COVID time because it's an amazing game. But they did that same kind of bullshit where they were like, "Well, actually, this isn't a sequel; it's a remake." And I was like, "Oh, okay." But then it wasn't a remake. It was like a weird reimagining. And it's just like, why?
But that's the thing. I hear a lot of people calling this a reimagining, and even that's not fair. This is like the next part of the Final Fantasy VII universe.
It's basically an alternate dimension type plot where it is the same plot, but not, right? Because they do that shit. Yeah. They do that shit in like World of Warcraft, where they're like, "Hey, the orcs came from a planet called Draenor," and everybody's like, "Cool. Here are the things that happened on Draenor." And then they released this expansion called Warlords of Draenor way back when, which was a pile of garbage. But it did some things. It did some things well. It's not the worst expansion ever. It was until the current expansion. Now is the worst one. Anyway, long story short, this expansion basically was like, we're going to go to Draenor, but we're going back in time. But it's not going back in time, because if we went back in time, then we'd have to deal with time paradoxes. So it's back in time, but also an alternate dimension back in time. And then like you do the same things that everybody knows happened, but they happen slightly differently. And for some reason, whoever writes these stories thinks that's a good idea. And I just want to kick them in their proverbial nuts, in their proverbial non-necessarily nuts, whatever nuts. I don't know who wrote it. Maybe it was Christy Golden.
Nuts.
Whatever your genitals are, I'm going to kick you in your genitals, is what I'm saying. Why? Why do people write these stories? I mean, I guess there's the potential for it to be good, but
I'm
more
excited
often
to
than
see
not,
where this goes.
But okay, are you? I mean, you're excited because you're you and you're optimistic. I'm me.
No, I am not optimistic.
Right.
I was positive I was going to hate this game,
and you didn't hate it.
I really enjoyed it.
9 out of 10 is not hating.
9 out of 10 would recommend.
All right,
no.
Even though it's not a remake.
No, it's a sequel.
So you think
just
part
remember that.
You think no part of it? Well, it's a sequel that isn't, right? It's a sequel that is part the thing. That's so weird.
Yep.
Why?
Yep.
That's
it is
so
weird. It is
but
weird.
But I guess the point is you don't think it shits on the original thing.
No.
It doesn't tarnish it.
No. No, it's rather respectful of the source material.
Okay.
It is an interesting twist and take on the direction for the series. I'm excited to see the next game. I feel like I'll like the next game more.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was question number 1. Lex, I cannot believe I've never heard you speak that quickly in my entire life. That's like the fastest like fucking showdown at the OK Corral. Like quick draw a 5-paragraph essay about Animu, and you were just like, "Wow!" And I'm dead. I didn't even get my gun out of the holster. I'm still stuck on the umbrage.
You didn't know that I do a line of coke every time I send you those rapid fire messages about the stories? I need you to remember that the next time I send you one. That did
seem like, you might have done some coke just now. I didn't see him do it, so I don't think it happened, but it did seem that way. Goddamn. All right, well done. That was a question for you, so I have no take because I know nothing about it. The next one in our chronological Twitter list is from Raichu. Level 40 Raichu. Oh, I should have said people's Twitters. I should have said people's Twitters. Well, it's not chronological. Sorry, our non-chronological Twitter list, because it's not. It might have been the first one, but
mine's in a different order than yours. Then
exactly. Yeah, social media is stupid as fuck, and nothing.
That's quite dumb.
Nothing.
But I'll trust you. It's all the same questions.
I'm literally just scrolling down. So anyway, the last one was from Pharaoh, who is at Pharaoh_FGC. This is from Level 40 Raichu, which is at LB40 Raichu. And he asks, what are both of your fighting game roots? And what made you both get into fighting games? And what are your favorite fighting games and why? So I guess I'll start since you did the last one. Yeah, go for it. I started with, I played Mortal Kombat 1, I want to say, is the first time I remember playing a fighting game.
Okay,
and I was
that far back.
Oh yeah. This is like why I exist, I think. So I was, God, I don't even know when that came out. Let me Google it real quick. How old would that make me? So let's do MK1 release date. Mortal Kombat 1 came out in 1992, which would have made me 6 years old. I have a sinking feeling. I think I was a little less old, or a little older, a little less young is what I want to say. I was a little older than that. I think I was like 7 or 8. But I remember being like at my cousin's house, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I got a Genesis. You should come play my Sega Genesis." And I was like, "All right, Carrie, show me your fucking Sega Genesis," you know? And I don't remember what we played, but other than Mortal Kombat. But I remember as soon as we started playing Mortal Kombat, I was like, I just want to play this game. Like I was like, I want to play I want to play pick this character. And it was just like, oh my God, like it's just something about like, there's just 2 people on the screen and you beat each other up. I was just immediately like, this is the greatest fucking thing I've ever done. Sub-Zero has ice. Scorpion throws a spear, and she told me, she was like, yeah, Scorpion says get over here, and it's awesome. And I was like, hell yeah. And I was like, how do I do, like, yeah, and she told me there were moves.
And then you wanted to know, yeah.
She told me there were moves, and I was like, what do you mean? Like, and she was like, oh yeah, you gotta hit like back button. I think that's what it is for Scorpion. I'm not a huge Mortal Kombat fan, but I think it was like back light punch, backpack heavy punch. I think it's backpack light punch. I don't remember. I think it's backpack light punch. And she was like, yeah, you hit that, and it does the move. And I was just like, fucking what? And then she was like, yeah, Sub-Zero can like put a thing on the ground and it makes you slip because it's ice. How do you do that? Yeah. I was like, how do you do that? And she goes, I don't know. And then I was like, I need to find out. And then I spend time finding out, and she like fucked off and hung out with my older cousins or something. And I was just like playing against the computer fucking. And I was like, I found out how to do the move. And she was like, yeah, that's great. Like words, like, but like people just didn't care. They just didn't care.
Yeah, like normal people are.
Yeah. But I thought it was great. And then I like went home and I was like, fuck man, all I have is a normal NES. Like there's no fighting games on normal NES.
You got Karate Fighter.
that doesn't count. That doesn't count. So I was like, I gotta get a Genesis. And so then this was like my mission. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna save up all my fucking money to get a Sega Genesis so I can play Mortal Kombat, right? And and so I would have been, I guess I was like probably 7. So within the next year, it was like my birthday, fucking Christmas, and then the big one, which if you're not Catholic in my audience, this might seem might seem really weird to you. But if you're Catholic, when you have your first communion, which is usually when you're like 8 or 9, your first communion is when you first eat Jesus.
It's just, in context, it sounds worse, I think.
You also drink Jesus.
Isn't it weird though? Because they can't like let all that Christ go to waste, so someone has to make sure to drink the rest of.
That is a thing. At the end, the priest drinks and eats the remainder of Jesus.
Well, yeah, because you can't let it go to waste. They're starving children in China.
No, it's not because of that. It's because it's Jesus. It's his. You gotta. Okay.
No one wants to be the guy who lets Jesus down.
This just went so much more religious than I expected this to go. So I was a Catholic for a number of years. I have been an atheist for all of my adult life, which is like a lot of Catholics. I was an altar boy, and yeah, the priest. So the priest says he's like, this bread is the body of Jesus. God was like, eat my body. And this wine is my blood, which is there are a lot of weird things about religion in general, Catholicism in general, but specifically that one is so weird and everybody just hears it and they like, why do I want to eat a zombie? Side note, the bread and the wine is nummy AF. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, you get it's really dry, but then you get the wine with it and the wine's not good, but the wine like makes the bread.
It's sweet.
It's great. It's great. So anyway, it's fucking weird as shit. Zombie Jesus. I don't understand.
I feel like Christ was being metaphorical when he said that.
I
feel like he was like, let's just eat and have a good time. I don't think he was like, hey guys, want to see a neat trick?
The actual quote that is said at every mass, it is a quote of Jesus, and it is Jesus saying, like, this bread is my body, take this, all of you, and eat it.
No, that's weird. That is
the actual quote. And then he says, this wine is my blood, take this, all of you, and drink it. Direct quote from Jesus. Anyway, if you don't know, yeah, religion's fucking crazy. Don't believe
Would
in God,
Jesus
kids.
lie?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Religion's the worst thing ever. Anyway, if you're spiritual out there, I can fuck with you. I can't fuck with dogma. Dogma's weird as shit. Anyway, all right. Enough about my bigotry. We went over the bigot girl podcast last week. So anyway, I saved up my first communion money. What's weird about it is like people give you a fuck ton of money for first
You're
communion.
7. What are you going to do with that much money?
No, it's insane. I remember, like, I will never forget how much it helps that my family is giant and very Catholic, right?
Sure.
So, and there are a couple people in my family that are well off. My family is like, my immediate family is like upper middle class. I have a couple uncles that are like fucking some weird, crazy, fucking jail time, probably deserving rich. And then there's like one or two uncles that are like way rich, and it's a whole thing. I don't really know a lot about it. I just know there's some money there.
The rich.
Yeah, I don't know. They got some money. I don't know how that works. A lot of my family is not that rich though, but they are very Catholic. And when they're very Catholic, they're like, this means a lot. First communion is a thing. Give money, because apparently giving money somehow equates.
It's what Jesus would have wanted
to
if you
yeah,
hadn't eaten him.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. But I was in like second or third grade or whatever it was when I was having my first communion, and I was like, all right, I got like $50 saved up from like my birthday and Christmas. I got like $20 or some shit for Christmas and $20 for my birthday or whatever the fuck. And I was like, all right, let's see what happens at first communion. And all my fucking relatives showed up. My mom has 9 brothers and sisters.
Damn.
They all have fucking kids. Their kids are like older than me because my parents were old when they had me. So then and I was just like, oh my God, I felt like fucking like Scarface at like 8 years old.
Yeah.
I was just getting these cards and it was just like, may Jesus fill your butthole with his body or blood or whatever the fuck. And I'm like, cool.
Whatever you gotta do, man.
Neat. Throw it in the pile. What's in there? $10, sweet. $15, sweet. Like, and then like your godfather, because that's a thing that exists and they are supposed to teach you about Jesus or something. Your godfather and you don't know about godfathers and godmothers?
I have a godfather and godmother, but they're supposed to like take over in the unlikely and untimely event of my parents' death.
So, okay, that's less what it is if you're Catholic, or at least what it was for me in my Catholic existence, because they were way too young to have ever taken over if my parents died. They were just people, as far as I can tell, that my parents thought were cool, or that were kids who my parents or people who were attached to my parents were the godparents of. So it's like a constant like, oh, you made my kid your godmother or father, or you made like, therefore I'll do. And it's just this constant. So like my godmother, I am technically the godfather of. I was made one of my cousin's godfathers, but the years are so far off. Oh my God, this is like the most me thing ever.
This has nothing to do with fighting.
I know, I'm supposed to talk about fighting games. Yeah, this is the most me thing ever. But I'm like the godfather of one of my cousins, and it's the most awkward thing ever because I'm just like, God can esmadi God. Like, no, thank you. And yet, and they made me They made me this person's godfather when I was in second grade. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. They were like,
you didn't know any better.
You're this person's godfather. She's 0 years old. You're like fucking 9. I was just like, okay. Dude, anyway, Jesus is a blow up. Point being, I got all this money.
You got a Genesis.
I got like $200 after my first communion. So I had like $200 and then like $50 for my birthday and Christmas. And I was like, holy shit, Sega Genesis are $199 and there's like a sale and you get 2 games. And so I got Mortal Kombat 2 and Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition.
Wow.
And then my mom was like, you saved up so much money to get this thing that you want. That's awesome. I'll just buy you a game because that's fucking cool. And so my mom bought me like, you got Sonic for free.
Sonic 2?
You got Sonic for free. My mom bought me, I think, Golden Axe, which was a pretty fucking cool game.
What a fucking badass game Golden Axe is.
Yeah. That was pretty slick.
Almost as good as Streets of Rage. But
yeah. Well, it's better in some ways, worse than others. Yeah, it's got its ups and downs. Yeah. Okay, so I got Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition and Mortal Kombat 2, and I have this like core memory of sitting down and going through every character in Mortal Kombat 2. And Mortal Kombat 2 was the one I thought was cool because Mortal Kombat 1 was the one that drew me in, and it was like there were just more things, and the graphics were better, and you were murdering people, which was great. I manually discovered by literally just putting shit in on the controller. Like 90% of the shit in that game. Like, what if I hold block and press a bunch of random buttons and then hit punch every time someone's dead? And then I discovered,
and the fatality comes out.
Through trial and error, like discovered all the fatalities, all the fucking super moves. I wrote them all down in the book. There were a couple I looked up on like dial-up internet because I couldn't. There were a couple that were like really specific, but almost all of them I wrote them down in the book. And then I have like all these memories of like playing my brother and just beating the shit out of him until he didn't want to play anymore, and then beating the shit out of him in real life until he would play the video game with me again.
Classic Big Brother tech, yeah.
and Street Fighter 2 was really cool. It was kind of a similar thing. I was definitely more into Mortal Kombat 2. And then eventually, so I thought those games were awesome. And eventually we had a Nintendo 64, which was also like me saving money, and cool sidebar about my familial history and how I exist versus other people. All my other siblings bitched about how I had my own like Nintendo 64. They all bitched at me. And I'd be like, this is my Nintendo 64. And then my siblings would literally, like my fucking whiny ass brother, especially, would be like,
classic.
Would be like, why does Willie get to play the Nintendo 64? And I'd be like, it's mine. And my mom would be like, you need to give your brother a turn. I'm like, I will. I gave him this much time. Now I'm going to play. And she'd be like, that's his fucking Nintendo. Deal with it. And then he'd be like, why does Willie have his own Nintendo? And she would go, Willie saves up his motherfucking money and buys a Nintendo. That's why. Because all I did after I bought a Genesis, all I did every single fucking birthday and Christmas for like however many years it was, like 5 years after fucking Genesis and Nintendo 64, every single one, I just saved it up. And I was like, Mom, I have $200 for my birthday. Can you give me $40 to buy a Nintendo 64 for $240? Yeah. And she was like, yes, I will do that for your birthday. And I was like, here's $200, Mom. I have a Nintendo 64. Fuck yes. Like, it was the best thing ever. Like, and then my brother just bitched about it because, you know, whatever. But anyway, so then Smash 64 came out. That was a really fucking cool game. I beat up my brother and my cousins in that. We all played it. They weren't interested in it and they would just want to quit. And then Melee came out and we ended up getting a GameCube, same fucking deal. And fucking we got Melee and we all played Melee and it was great. But the point being, I actually did not know about, and this is where you'll be different when I eventually let you in. I didn't know shit about competitive stuff. I didn't know anybody played competitive anything. I just knew I loved these games and no one would ever play them with me as much as I wanted to play them. I just wanted to play them all fucking night and never stop. And
you needed a rival,
and other people
one could be that for
and
you.
No one could do it. They were all just like, "Oh, it's dumb. You spend too much time on it. You spend too much time. It's not fun. You just do." Blah, blah. So
all you do is the moves and win.
Yeah, exactly. So then the last year that Brawl was out, I worked with this dude when I was an in-home tech. This is like I'm an adult now. I'm like 20. Sorry, the last year Melee was out, not Brawl. I was like 21, 22, probably 22, 23. When Brawl come out? 2008? Yeah, that's about right. So I was like 20. I was like 22 or some shit. Yeah. And
I'm doing the math in my head. Yeah. No, you're only 3 years older than me, so you'd be 21, 22. You're good.
Wait,
go ahead.
I'm more than 3 years older than you. Are you 31 now?
I'll be 30 this year.
Yeah, I'm 30.
You turned 34?
I'm 34, motherfucker.
Okay, my bad. Yeah. I'm bad at math.
No worries, so am I. I was just like, I know you're not that old.
4 years old. Yeah. My bad.
But, and some change, because you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
I'm not there yet.
So anyway, welcome to old. Anyway, this dude I worked with was like talking about some shit, and I was like, oh, I love Melee. We should play Melee. Like, Smash is the greatest game. Like, we should play it. I'll kick your ass. And he said, you think you're good, but you have no idea, which I will never forget. And then he linked me to the Melee Advanced How to Play video. And I looked at that shit like when I got home that night, because smartphones weren't good enough to really look at it in your lunch break in any quality. And he told me about it, and I was like, whatever, you're full shit, whatever. And I watched it, and I like screamed to my roommate, Seth. I was like, Seth, watch this fucking video, because we would play just for fun. We would play Melee.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you thought you were being competitive.
I was like,
but
you
it was
have
just for
to,
funsies.
Yeah, you have to watch this, which I think you maybe don't know about because you're not full on in the Smash thing. That's like a very historic video. The advanced how to play video. It's like a YouTube video that someone put out before YouTube existed. I don't even remember where it was. It was some, when YouTube didn't exist. Yeah. It was on, I just said I watched it on YouTube. I don't think I did. It was some other fucking video website. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, and then I was just like, holy shit, competitive things, fucking, oh my God, there's tournaments. And I just like fucking lost my mind. And then like 6 months from that point, Brawl was announced. Brawl was coming out. And I dove into Brawl, and I won't go over that whole history. But yeah, I got into the Brawl back room. I was an important person who did things. I made a rule set that everyone hated. I made a stage thing that everyone loved. I did a lot of things with Brawl that went on forever. I'll save that for another thing. But my history is that, and that is how, and then eventually Street Fighter 4, because Street Fighter 4 is Street Fighter 4.
That's when life truly began.
Yeah, pretty much. So anyway, that's my history.
Oh, sure. Okay, so I can take us back. When I was younger, my dad got all of the video games rather than me. Eventually, it shifted. So, like, he got the Sega Genesis, and then I played his Genesis. And I guess if we're going all the way back, there was this game called Eternal Champions for the Sega Genesis. You're making a face. Okay,
I don't think I know it.
You can look it up. It's pretty garbage. But I would play against my dad. And this is before I can remember, so I've only been told this story. There's a wizard character, and if you do a button combination, he like throws a snake at you, and the snake like wraps around you. It's like a hit grab, and it does damage until it stops. And it made this noise like whoosh, whoosh, when it was biting you. And apparently, the story goes that I would get upset when my dad would hit me with this hit grab, and I would say, "Stop virashing me," because that was my interpretation of the sound effect.
Okay.
So, okay. Yeah, so eventually the Sega Genesis fell out of favor. My dad
Your
got a
dad
PlayStation
beat you
1.
up in fighting games?
My dad beat me up in fighting games before I remembered fighting, before I had an active memory.
God.
Before I was like really aware and with it.
I'm just
my
so
dad.
Jealous of that. I love my dad in a lot of ways, and he's great and better than most dads in my opinion, but like, goddamn, my dad did not give a... If only he'd
beaten you up.
He did not give a fuck about video games. All right, anyway, Virashing.
Virashing, yeah. So eventually my dad got a PlayStation 1, and my cousin Ryan would babysit me and my little brother over the summer when we weren't at school. And my dad, who is a huge comic book nerd, he's got like a bunch of comics, like a storage locker full of comics. He had Marvel Superheroes for the PlayStation 1. And my cousin knew how to do some of the inputs. And I would play with him, and I would be like, "Oh shit, you're flying with Iron Man. How do I fly?" And he'd say, "Do down to back and press kick," or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And so that started my grind, and eventually my dad got no shit. This is the most pivotal experience for me in fighting games. Street Fighter the movie, the game.
Literally the worst Street Fighter game of all time.
Literally the worst.
Worse than even Street Fighter 1, which is basically not a Street Fighter game. Like, it's a pretty much fact that Street Fighter started with Street Fighter 2. Like, Street Fighter 1 is not even the same thing. That's amazing. Okay.
Yeah. So
I never played it.
The movie, the game. Wow. It's awful.
Oh, I'm aware of it now. On YouTube.
At the time, I didn't know. And so I was playing through the story mode, arcade mode, whatever it was. I don't remember who I was playing, but I remember I was fighting against Chun-Li. And she got around, and then I got around. And then on the third round, the final round, because I wanted to get to the next stage, we got a double KO. And I was like, oh, shit! That's wild! We were so evenly matched. And so it goes to the next round, and we got another double KO.
Oh,
and it went on like that until I had to go downstairs to eat dinner. And so I was like, shit.
How many double KOs did you get?
Like 3.
That's nuts.
Yeah. And so I turned it off, and I was never the same. I needed the fix, right?
Yeah, dude.
So that drive never really went away, and I didn't have a constructive way to channel it until I got into Melee. I wasn't really into Melee. I played it because my friends played it.
I always forget that you did Melee things. I always forget that. You're like weirdly kind of a smasher, even though you're not. Like,
but I didn't inhale. Yeah. I've played an ungodly amount of Melee.
You didn't let the Smash play you. You played the Smash, therefore you're not Smash.
Yes.
It's a callback to last week. Okay.
I played a lot of Melee, actually, but like, you know, if you don't know what's good, if you don't know how to be good, like I knew wave dashing and L canceling, but it was just me and my cousin.
How did you know? How did you know wave dashing and L canceling though? You didn't watch the advanced how to play video, right?
I did.
Oh, you did.
I
Okay,
did.
okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you knew about that. Okay, man, you are. Wait, you're like a smasher. You're like 100%. No, you're telling me. Wait. What I'm hearing right now is yeah. You look all fucking depressed and but no, you're telling me your first foray into competitive fighting game where you really knew what the fuck was going on, when you really knew how to do advanced shit, it was Melee in the advanced how to play video.
I knew how to do advanced shit, but I wasn't good because I didn't have anyone else who was trying to get good. But you knew
it existed, and Lex, Smasher alert! Smasher alert!
No, don't tell Kappa. Don't tell Smash Sniffer. No,
Smasher alert! Okay. Now that we've got that out of the way, we know you're a filthy smasher like me.
Yeah, so like I went
that
to like a couple of
crazy. Oh my god,
Game Crazy tournaments. I tried to organize a Game Crazy tournament for a while. I went to a church
for Smash.
Smash, yeah, for Smash, not for religious purposes. But anyway, none of that's actually important. The fact that I tried to learn the wave.
All I'm hearing is that not only was your first foray into trying to get good in Smash, but also the first tournament you attended and hosted was for Smash.
Technically.
Smasher alert! All right.
So that sort of segued. I went to Anime Central. No, wait. Kunikon. That was the name of it. It was St. Louis's first anime convention, and they had a game called Naruto Gekito Ninja Taisen 3.
I know there are a million Naruto games, and some people love some of them, and some people hate others.
There's one important one.
That's that one?
No. This is the precursor. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm very particular about my Naruto games because there's really just one good one, and it's actually a good game. And when COVID is over, we're gonna play it.
Okay.
I played it, and I was like, "Holy shit, this game's fucking wild!" It was kind of like it's a 3D arena fighter type game.
Oh, like Guys or something.
Yeah, kind of. You can.
I never owned a PlayStation, but I had friends who had Guys, and I was always down to play. I
never had Guys,
and that's the only way I know Sephiroth. By the way, I had no idea who that was or why anyone cared about him. I just knew he was
long, pointy guy.
He was just in Guys. That's all I knew.
Yeah. So I imported GNT3 because it was so much fun. And then GNT4 came out, and I imported that.
GNT is the Geki de Butabata Naruto, Taisen, whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Naruto GNT4. That's the shit.
That's the
one. That
is
just unreal. Yeah, that's the first game that I got good at.
Okay.
Because I was learning advanced tech in Melee, but I was bad. I didn't know tactics and how to play and footsies and shit until I started GNT4, which took me into the
that was when you had other competitive players, right? You're saying was the difference between the two?
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. That took me into the Willvolution rabbit hole. There's a scene in Florida, a Gekito Ninja Taisen scene in Florida from circa 2007. That met and had tournaments called Willvolution.
Oh,
and
okay.
Yep. And they played Gekito Ninja Taisen 4. That's where I learned about Street Fighter Third Strike, which is how I got Evo Moment 37. And
I don't remember how I ever got that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I know I got it. I think it was when I was playing Smash. But I don't actually remember. I remember being impressed by it, but I cannot for the life of you tell me when I first saw that video.
Sure.
I have no idea.
For me, it was right around 2007, 2008, which would have been when it happened. But yeah, and they also played this neat little sort of poverty game called Melty Blood.
Oh no!
Phenomenal game based on a visual novel.
Yes, that's definitely not a hentai.
Definitely, well.
There's a Twitter movement, by the way, that So the first tier of it is Carol Baskin killed her second husband, and the second tier of it. Oh, you don't? Okay, you haven't seen Tiger King?
I didn't watch Tiger King.
Yeah, no. I only recently watched it because COVID made me. And anyway, this lady murdered her husband. Everybody thinks it's a thing. Carol Baskin murdered her second husband is tier 1. Tier 2 is Lex played boob wars.
Oh, what a conspiracy! I have still not. I'll let you guys know when I have.
No, you did. Everybody thinks you have. Everyone thinks you played boob wars.
But that was my slippery slope. After I got into Melty Blood, I was big into anime games, and that brought me to the St. Louis fighting game scene, the Springfield, Missouri fighting game scene.
Why Springfield?
I was in college at Missouri State.
That makes sense.
And so I was like, shit, is there anyone here who will play Street Fighter with me? The answer was yes. So,
damn,
anyway,
that's it.
That's me.
You're a smasher. You're a motherfucking smasher, dude.
Just a lie.
You're a fucking no, you are like textbook a smasher. There is no people try to tell me I'm a lie because I fucking was good at Street Fighter 4 and have a YouTube channel.
Shouldn't have been. Yeah.
It's fucking Smash though. Smash was, I always have to remind people.
It's a gateway drug.
But it's weird because all the Smashers think that I'm a Street Fighter player and all the Street Fighter players think that I'm a Smasher.
I think you're a Street Fighter player.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I certainly was best at Street Fighter 4. Which
sure.
I don't want to go into too much now because that will come up later. So we're not going to go into that yet. We'll get into that with. There's another one that I recall.
Do you want to say what's your favorite fighting game to answer the rest of Raichu's question?
Oh well, yeah, and that actually I think does come up in the one I was thinking of, but that is also the end of his. I agree. No, you're right. Okay. Okay. It's Street Fighter 4. There's just no question. It's Street Fighter 4.
Perfect sense. It's such a good game.
Street Fighter 4 is the best fighting game of all time. There's no contest. I was thinking this was another question for some reason, but you're right. It's part of the same one. If we're picking versions, I guess it's Ultra. I think I was technically the most active early Ultra and late AE 2012.
Yeah. That was
when the scene was the biggest in St. Louis. Yeah. Well, I popped up at the very end of Super, but I really came in early AE, but then you're right. Like,
yeah, I didn't see you or notice you.
Well, the reason is, if you remember, I don't remember if we talked about it on this podcast or not, the some of the toxicity of the St. Louis scene.
I remember. Yeah.
But
St. Louis is,
the St. Louis,
a lot of fun.
St. Louis Street Fighter scene had a lot of toxicity in it, and I had never experienced that because for me, coming from the Brawl community, I know there were toxic Brawl scenes. Everybody knew there were like certain scenes that were more toxic. We didn't even know toxic was a word back then. That's how fucking old I am. Nobody knew what that word was.
Britney Spears, yeah.
Yeah. Taste of your scene, I'm gonna ban. Okay, so anyway, but everybody loved Missouri. None of us were particularly good, but everybody loved us. We were all really cool. All the tournaments we went to, it was awesome. And
yeah, because your game was plenty toxic. You guys didn't have to be.
We'll get to that. That is part of the other question. We'll get to that later. But everybody thought the Brawl St. Louis scene was cool and everybody was good. And when I went into the Street Fighter 4 scene, it was like a fucking culture shock, dude. Because one of my first experiences with it, my first one was an Ogre Games tournament that I think I got like 3rd or 4th in.
I remember Ogre Games.
Yeah. And that was when I was still playing on pad, and I had been doing is playing online, and I started with Akuma online, then I messed with Abel, and I eventually wound up on E Honda, and I would just play online randomly. I was still focusing on Brawl. But I was like, Street Fighter 4 seems like a really cool game. The online's fun. Maybe I'll go to a tournament. And I went with my buddy Kevin and my girlfriend. And I think that was it. I think it was just 3 of us. I think Seth might have come too, actually. Yeah, it might have been like 4 of us. We all went. And I entered this tournament. And I was playing on my fucking PS2 pad with my adapter. And Mr. K was kind of a little bit of a dick to me. But I beat him. Yeah, exactly. He was like, you know why everything you did is wrong and bad, right? And I just looked at him and I was like, but I won. And then I didn't understand. Like, I actually beat him really badly. It was pretty bad. I just basically
played wrong.
Yeah, because I played wrong and he didn't understand how I played, and I made no sense to him. So I destroyed him. It was when I had a really nice, I had built up an E Honda flowchart.
Mm-hmm.
This is very early, like I said. Like, this is early Super Street Fighter 4, and it was basically like, Ocho throw, and then you do knockdown guess. Am I going to Ocho throw again? Am I going to butt slam? Am I going to cross you up? And a lot of times I would literally just do Ocho throw once, Ocho throw twice, invincible EX butt slam, and then their brain was broken, and that was all it took.
Yeah, because what do you do at that point?
And Honda's neutral's nuts, and he was crazy in Super, obviously. So, but yeah, I remember like slight toxicity from Steve, nothing terrible, but just being like, kind of like, all right, well, I mean, I appreciate the advice, but you're talking to me as if I'm completely beneath you just because you don't know who I am, because I haven't paid my dues. You know what I mean?
Pay your dues. Yeah.
But like, fuck you, I fucking beat you. Like, that's not,
Didn't earn it. You didn't lose. You need to lose first and then win.
Let me know.
I need to see the progression.
And then Guilty, who I'm friends with now, Guilty gave me a bunch of shit because Guilty was trying to fucking swindle me. Guilty did this whole thing where I had my PS2 controller and converters didn't exist at that time. We didn't have the technology, and this tournament was run dual console. Mm-hmm. And Guilty was like, we got to play on an Xbox. And I was like, well, I only have a PS 2 or 3 controller or whatever, right? And she was like, we gotta fucking play on Xbox. And the only reason I didn't eat this swindle is because, oh god, this is okay. I gotta try and be brief, but there was this guy in our scene in Brawl who made a mod of Brawl, and he started to talk to people about running a tournament. And it was called Balance Brawl. It was a cool idea, but it was a fucking mod of a fucking Nintendo party game that's already niche enough, whatever. So he got a hold of people that were in, the real fighting game players when all of us smashers weren't sure what was going on. And it was Karasa, who is the godfather of the St. Louis fighting game scene. He's everyone's grandpa, and he ran all the tournaments.
Pop.
And Karasa was running his tournament series. I forget what they were called, but it was the ones that were not Aerial Rave. Not Aerial Rave. It was the ones that were at. It was the one, or maybe it was the version at the Gateway Center, which was the bigger. It was
I don't think I made it to that one. I might have been in Springfield at the time.
Not Aerial Rave. Yeah, I think I was in the St. Louis FGC before you, technically, based on that.
Kind of.
I mean, tangentially.
I was in there for vanilla, and then you were there while I was gone. And then
yeah. Oh, okay. So anyway, well, no. This is before Street Fighter 4 existed. This is before Street Fighter 4 existed.
Mind. Yeah. Then you're an O or G than me.
So but I wasn't. I was tangentially in there. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so he would do these bigger ones. I forget what they were called, but I was a Brawl player. He did these bigger ones. I don't remember what he called them, but they were at the Gateway Center in Illinois. Okay. And so they were these big things, and so we all knew that happened, but we were like, oh, they don't want to do Smash. So they finally wanted to do Brawl. I'm like the main person who hosts tournaments for Brawl. But I don't know shit about running tournaments, and we let this dude who's doing the mod do it. And he decides after Jeff Karasa, the person running the big tournament, he's like, yeah, we'll let the Brawl people come in. Without telling anyone, he just decides on his own, we're going to do this entire tournament on my Brawl mod. Because why wouldn't we? That's a great way to expose the mod. And I was like, look, I understand that you want your mod to get popular, but these people are signing up for a Brawl tournament.
That's what they had expected.
Not a tournament of whatever this mod is. And everyone was too fucking retarded to understand the argument that I was making. They were just like, Will, you're such a fucking negative person. And I was like, no, this isn't something that's going to storm the world. These are people that are expecting to come. So anyway, imagine what happened. Everyone was like, Will, you're it's that whole thing that happens. Will, you're an asshole. How dare you say a rational thing and not blah, blah, blah. So then we get there and everybody's pissed because they're like, oh, did you bring a setup? Put this SD card in and mod your Wii. And it's just like people that are there with their parents and they're like, is this going to break my console? Well, only if you do blah, 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 blah. It was a fucking disaster, as I'm sure you can imagine. Because people had to mod their shit. I was like, I told you all this was what was going to fucking happen. So then no one told Karasa any of this shit. And I was like, look, and I told him when I got there, when shit started to go south, he was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, here's what's happening. And I just fucking laid it out. And I was like, I fucking told them this was retarded. I've been telling them this entire time that they should not be doing a mod. I was like, if they want to do a side project for the mod or a side event, be my guest. But anyway, yeah, basically they just did that. And he was pissed because he put his money into the event. He fucking did all the shit. And it was a disaster. He had to refund people's money. And so then he comes onto Smashboards and he's like, what the fuck? Fucking blah, blah, blah. And I was like, look, man, I'm really sorry. This is stupid. I said it again. I hope you can do a thing in the future with us. If you don't want to, it's fine. And he ended up responding to me and he was like, no, man, I get it. You're like somebody who wants to represent your community and you did a good job. It just really sucks that this happened. And I was like, yeah, dude, I totally fucking agree.
What an understanding guy.
Oh my God. Well,
he's just the best.
The two of us, right? We went through this thing and so anyway, I knew Karasa, but I had never fucked with him. So when I started to play Street Fighter 4, I didn't know he was going to be there. So Guilty's like, we got to fucking play on a fucking Xbox, right? Like, fuck you. She's like trying to fucking big dick me. She's like, we have to play on an Xbox. It's the standard. Too bad for you. And this is happening because Guilty's afraid of me because she sees that I beat She sees that I beat Mr. K. And she doesn't know who the fuck I am. So she fucking...
So it's smart.
She goes on this whole thing, and I'm looking at this, I'm like, I feel like this is bullshit. I don't know what's going on. And then I look over, and I see fucking Karasa in the back. And I'm like, oh shit, is this Karasa's tournament? And I go up to him, I'm like, Jeff. Jeff, I don't want to be a dick. I was like, if I'm being a dick, just let me know. I don't know what the fuck. Let me know. But I'm about to play this chick. And this chick is telling me that I have to play on an Xbox. And she has an arcade stick, which she could just use anyone's arcade stick. And I have a pad. Can't we just play on PS3? Like, isn't that just a thing we can do so that it'll be the same experience for her regardless? But for me, I'll be fucked. And he looks at me, he goes, who said that? And then I like point Guilty out. And he just goes, Guilty! And she was like a fucking dog getting yelled at by its owner. She immediately, she did not know part of her strategy was that why would I know Jeff? I'm a random dude here with his girlfriend and his friends that no one knows. That does clearly, and she's like, "Oh shit!" And she literally just picked up someone else's stick and like walked over to the fucking PlayStation without saying a word to me. Anyway, I beat her ass. And I lost to end that story. I lost to Truth God. Truth God was in the same situation.
Fucking Truth God.
Well, but he was in the same situation as me. But on the opposite end, he only had an Xbox pad, and I was like, "All right, this is legit." We played rock paper scissors. He won. Yeah. I could not do anything, and whatever.
I'm just gonna say the fact that he beat you at rock paper scissors is proof that he was going to beat.
That he's Truth God.
He's Truth God. Yeah, I'm positive he would beat me 100 times out of 100.
You know, and I didn't know who he was like until years later, and I had to reflect back on the fact that it was Truth God that I lost to. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So anyway, I think I got third or fourth or some shit. And anyway, that's like my whole thing with Street Fighter 4, and it's my favorite game of all time. But the reason it's toxic, back and back and back. Oh my god, we've gone so many directions. But
we have.
I left after that, which is why I went on this tirade, because I had to leave a hookup. And I'll spare names at this point. But sure. I was at this hookup, which is a Smash Fest for all you Smash players out there. And I was like, oh, I think I'm finally starting to get into Street Fighter 4. I'm going to like go out to events. I think this is going to be my main game for reasons. And I'm going to really focus on this. And I felt like I was in danger. I felt threatened. I felt like people were going to physically harm me. And it was basically because I told them like things about how my character operated.
No one knows how he operates except for you.
Yeah,
you literally wrote the book.
Literally. I mean, yeah, literally. Okay, literally, yes.
You did do that thing.
But I was just trying to like explain to them things, and a couple key people were just like, "Fuck you, fucking suck my dick," and I was like, "Holy shit! I do not know how to deal with this level of animosity," because in Smash it was always just like ho hum ho,
hey, we're
all happy friends and we drink and play Smash Brothers. And anyway, so yeah, that was Street Fighter 4 is the best game, but that's why it was an awkward time. So what's your favorite?
And I can be very brief about it, don't worry.
Oh, I can't, and I wasn't.
Persona 4 Arena, specifically Ultimax. The game's phenomenal. The art direction is great. They managed to adapt an RPG to a fighting game extremely well. The reason why I like it so much is because it is the perfect combination of accessible and deep. There's plenty of stuff in there for you to go deep and hard, and like if you know your character, all the characters have some weird shit. So like there's a character, Naoto, who has moves that instantly kill you, and she's not that good. Or there's a character who's a grappler who can do like 30% off of a command grab. But the trick is that he can paralyze you so that you can't move or run or jump to get out of it. And he's like the worst character in the game. And it's so cool that all these characters have these neat gimmicks and tricks and shit. And it's like so reasonably well balanced. And I haven't played a game like it since. Like,
everybody has a tag partner of sorts with their persona, right? That's like the overall game gimmick is that everyone is sort of two characters, but not everyone has Arsene.
Everyone's a puppet character.
Everyone has Arsene, right?
Well, yeah. So like you've got two buttons, A and B, which are generally speaking your U moves, where you'll like punch somebody or slap them with a fan or hit them with a chair or whatever. And then you've got your C and D buttons, and those buttons make your persona come out. And so, like, Arsene, but not Arsene, will come out and, like, punch somebody in the face or shoot a big laser or whatever.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
One of these days will probably have to play that with you again. Yeah. I'm sure I will still hate it, but...
That's fine. I don't care, as long as you've tried it again.
I tried it under the right circumstances. Yeah, with the right guidance. Okay, so...
that's me.
That's it? All right. Well, thanks for being brief. You have to be, because I can't. All right, so I do want to give you the opportunity, since we're approaching an hour. I will do this whole list right now, and I think.
This is a long episode.
Time.
I already warned time. Jen.
Okay, cool. You warned her it was going to be long. Cool.
Yeah.
So, I do think most of these questions are going to be shorter than what we've had so far, but there are two that I'm looking at as I scroll through the questions I was asked
that are going to be longer.
That might end up being longer.
I'm in it for the long haul. I believe in us.
All right, cool. So we'll keep going. So the next one in my list is from at 666 butts 420. The last one once again is from Love 40 Raichu. Thank you. 666 butts 420, who has no Twitter name, so I guess we'll leave it at that for now, and you guys can follow the mystery.
Whoever it can be.
And that, well, you know what? I'm gonna skip the orders so this makes more sense. So the first question at 666 butts 420 asks me is, do you like me? Yes or no? My answer to that is yes. You are very funny and you have a hot husband. So this is your husband is so hot. Why is your husband so hot?
This whole time I thought that was Pharaoh specifically.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, that's Kate. That's Pharaoh's husband, Kate. Yeah.
No, I saw Clifford there, and
that's her.
That's got to be Pharaoh.
So I like you. I think you're funny, and you have a very hot husband. So congrats on that.
We hung out at the beer drinking thing and a couple of times at Will's, and you were nice, and I think you're cool. I like you. Yes. Circle yes.
There you go. Okay, she's cool. So then her actual question, I guess the first one in order. These are ridiculous. I don't even know if I can do this one. Please rate all Teletubbies in order of hotness and explain reasoning. So first of all, I have to pull up pictures and names because I did not watch much. I know there's Tinky Winky, Laa-Laa, Boo.
I didn't watch the Teletubbies.
I didn't watch them either.
I just passed me.
I don't know why I even know that many names. Okay, so let's look up Teletubbies.
Laa-Laa. No, you already said Laa-Laa. Damn it.
Tinky Winky, Laa-Laa, Dipsy, and Po. Okay, so I had Tinky Winky and Laa-Laa, but I made up the other ones. All right, so I'm going to pull them up here. You can pull up some pictures. We'll get some pictures here. Images of Tinky Winky. All right, images of Laa-Laa. I got my images here. I got my image of Dipsy. Man, this is gonna be a thing.
This is gonna poison my Google recommendations. I have to clear my history after. I should have done this in an incognito tab. What was I thinking?
Yeah, it's too late. All right, so go ahead and pull up an image here, Lex. I'm gonna do, just to make sure I get quality, I'm gonna say size large on my image search. Do you know how to do that? Tools.
I'm gonna go to Bing. That's how I'm gonna do.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
We can't be friends
Bing
anymore.
is the best for images.
Oh my god.
Tinky Winky.
Bing is the best for porn. I know what you meant by that. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here, Lex. You can't fool me. Get the fuck out of here. Lex played Boob Wars.
I didn't. I'll let you know when I play.
Lex played Boob Wars. Everyone knows it. All right, so let me change this one. All right, we're almost done here, kids.
It's Tinky Winky, Laa-Laa, who else?
Tinky
Dipsy.
Winky, Laa-Laa, Dipsy, and Po.
All
right, so my first thought, I've got these images pulled up. My first thought is that they all literally look identical.
Yes, but to that end, Dipsy seems to have darker skin and that weird cow print hat. So I'm going to put Dipsy at the top of the list.
Of hotness.
Okay. That's Steez right there in that cow print hat.
I'm gonna go with Lala is the hottest because Lala has a lot of pictures where she looks like she's having a good time,
and that's the kind of girl you want to be with.
Oh no, but it's exuding no. If anything, that's the opposite. But it's exuding confidence. It's exuding confidence, and I like the confidence of Lala right now. So you're going with Dipsy.
My top dog is Dipsy. Yeah,
I think I'm gonna go second is Dipsy just for having points for not literally being a clone in a different color.
The exact same. Yeah.
And then,
oh shit. Okay, like my second is going to be Tinky Winky because of the triangle, and the color purple is like my favorite color.
Purple's a good color. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with Tinky Winky for my third for the same reasons, and then I guess that mees Poe is the least hot for me.
Yeah, I'm about that same. So like Lala is going to be number 3 for me, and then Poe is the do not.
Poe is approach. You're not going to fuck Poe.
Yeah, what is this? Like, I one of the pictures in here, he's got a safety helmet on, and that round antenna does. Ugh.
The round antenna is kind of weird. Yeah, I don't like the shape. I don't like the shape.
Nope.
I think there's something to be said about actually going back to your Dipsy, the fact that it is just a standard antenna as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't know. That's tough between Lala and Dipsy. All right. Well, it seems like we're oddly pretty much on the same page. Well done.
More or less, yeah.
Worst, best question of all time. And now this one I actually do like is Fuck, Marry, Kill, Big Bird, Oscar the Grouch, and Mr. Snuffleupagus. Again, from at 666butts420. Which is, by the way, the best Twitter handle of all time. Congratulations, Kate.
I'm surprised it wasn't claimed already.
I am shocked. It's the best Twitter handle of all time. Well done.
Okay, so fuck Mr. Snuffleupagus.
What?
Kill... do I do it in order? Does it matter?
No, but I'm already... Okay.
Marry Big Bird and kill Oscar the Grouch, because I'm not trying to live with someone who smells.
Okay.
Or have sex with someone smelly. Now, Oscar the Grouch has like one of the most approachable personalities, in that I feel like I'd have a lot of distance.
I am judging you so hard on rating him for his smells. How dare you?
I couldn't do it. I can't.
How dare
the smell, man. The smell. You didn't think of the smell.
No, honestly, the smell didn't even approach my mind because I am a fucking higher level of compassionate than you, Lex. The smell. You
say that, but every time your cat poops, you cease loving her for about 5 seconds.
Oscar's smell did not come into my... I literally did not think of it. Like, I was... Just now when you said it and you were like, the smell, I was fucking shocked and appalled.
You didn't think of the smell.
That you even mentioned it. No, but he's so much more than his smells.
Well, sure. He's got a winsome personality. I couldn't have sex with it. Obviously, you fuck Mr. Snuffleupagus because you can't have like a long-term, serious, committed relationship with an imaginary friend. That's unhealthy.
Okay, first of all, I disagree. Taking it at face value, I disagree. Second of all, what? How is he imaginary? He's imaginary? I don't even know about that.
He's Big Bird's imaginary friend.
Is he, though?
Do you not know any Sesame Street lore?
I know! I watched it all the time! I know he's Big Bird's friend! Why is he imaginary? What do you mean he's imaginary? You just blew my mind. Am I gonna have to go fucking have a fucking therapist session? Big Bird just talks to him! He's just Big Bird's friend! They have their own.
Why did only Big Bird talk to him?
I don't know. I have friends that I talk to that other people don't.
No one else talks to?
They don't. Well, my other friends don't.
Friends?
Snuffleupagus. No, you know what? Fuck you. Snuffleupagus talks to other people. He just doesn't get down with Big Bird's crowd. Big Bird doesn't know. Big Bird and Snuffleupagus have a thing. They talk to each other. I have lots of friends like that. They talk to each other. They're friends. They have their own friends group. They're their own thing. You know what? This podcast is over. I'm out. I'm fucking
9 episodes. We made it.
God damn it. I have literally never heard that in my life. That's a real thing. That's a real thing.
Yes.
Oh my God. God. Is
Snuffleupagus imaginary?
That is literally
over there typing on Bing.
That's literally not on Bing, you fucking animal. No one get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Oh my God. He was an imaginary friend?
Yeah.
No. Lore, hang on. Yeah, fuck you. Okay. You're partially right, but you're not fully right. Suck my dick. I knew I wasn't crazy. Okay. This is on the fucking Wikipedia. Esma D. I'm just going to read this whole thing because my victory will be glorious. For many years, only Big Bird would see Snuffy because he would always leave while Big Bird went to get the others, leading everyone else to believe that Snuffy was simply an imaginary friend. But after Sesame Street Presents Follow That Bird, which is a thing that I've seen and like, Big Bird finally succeeded in revealing Snuffy to his friends on Sesame Street. So he is not imaginary. He is real. And it is exactly as I said, which is that he just didn't have the same friend group.
He runs with a different crowd.
And they never met until the point, Esma D, I am vindicated, and I do not have to kill myself for thinking I'm insane. But it does, to throw you the bone, I think it was framed that way at some point early on. And then was no
certainly. Yeah, back when I was watching it. Before 1985.
Okay, so goddamn, that almost killed me. All right.
I'm sorry.
First things first.
Kill.
The only one I was 100% certain on is like immediately I was just like, kill Big Bird. I don't give a fuck about Big Bird.
He's so sweet though.
He is sweet, but he is the least necessary character.
Without him, you wouldn't have Snuffy though.
That's true, and Snuffy's cool. I don't hate Big Bird, but he's an easy kill for me because like every other Sesame Street character is more interesting to me. They all have their own problems or specializations, and Big Bird is what? He's a big bird that loves everyone? Fuck you, that's not interesting. I don't care. I don't care. Like, fucking Snuffy... No. Big Bird is so much more interesting because Snuffy exists. All right. I really struggled between fuck and marry for Oscar and Snuff. I settled on, and I'm not even certain right now if I'm being honest...
Yeah, you can flip up another 5 times before the podcast is over.
As I'm saying this out loud, I want to change it. But what I settled on was fuck Oscar and marry Snuff. And the reason I settled on that is because I think Oscar would be a better fuck or thought
a more
Oscar,
giving lover than
not a giving. No, Oscar's not a lover, which I think is why I ended up on that, right? Because he's like Oscar's gonna FWB you, dude. He's like, I don't give a fuck. Get out of my trash can. Like, you want me to suck your dick? I'll suck your dick. Get the fuck out of my trash can.
And then get out of my trash can.
He'll meet you for a beer. He's a great friend fuck. Snuffy cares about you. He loves you. He fucking, you're going to want to marry the Snuffleupagus. I can't imagine not wanting to marry Snuffleupagus. Snuffleupagus is so much better of a friend than Big Bird. That relationship is so one-sided. Big Bird's just like, I am an empty, vacuous, irrelevant piece of shit that has no personality other than that I generically love everyone. And Snuffy is like, let me explain to you why love matters because Snuffy's depressed. Snuffy's depressed. Yeah. But he still has love in his heart.
Do you remember?
That's why I want to marry Snuffleupagus.
Do you remember the episode in defense of Big Bird? Do you remember the episode where Mr. Hooper died?
I remember that it exists and that it was sad. I do not remember details specifically.
He's like, well, I guess tomorrow I'll talk to Mr. Hooper then.
Yeah, he can't process it, right?
No, man, Mr. Hooper's dead.
Yeah.
Dead AF. He's dead as houses, man. He's not coming back. And they're like, but why? Why can't Mr. Hooper come play? You're going to tell me he's a vacuous sack of need? Like, yeah, he's emotionally stunted and very tall.
He is emotionally stunted, which definitively makes him a vacuous sack of need. I don't disagree with my original statement. I do agree that he makes an excellent character for that plot. In the same way that in my favorite character in Buffy the Vampire Slayer is Anyanka, and there is literally a mirroring of that episode. It is literally like someone rewrote that episode of Sesame Street in the context. Anyanka is an immortal demon. She doesn't understand death. I think it's so. Again, my point is not that I hate Big Bird, but he is an easy kill. He is the least.
Okay.
He is easily the least important, least good character of Sesame Street in my opinion.
So you're going to reunite Big Bird with Mr. Hooper?
Yeah, easy.
That's a monstrous thing to do.
Easy.
You're horrible for that.
Easy. All right. So we can agree though that Snuffleupagus is no one deserves him, right? Come on.
Oh yeah, he's too good.
Yeah. Killing Oscar. If you had killed Snuffleupagus, I would have.
Oh no, God, no.
I couldn't handle it. Yeah, I couldn't handle it. All right. So thank you at 666butts420. The next in my non-chronological list is from Hylian. This is a very easy one for me. This will be quick. For $1 million, you could have $1 million, but you could only take cold showers for the rest of your life. Would you do it? That's like the easiest yes of all time for me. Like, I don't
Really?
Yeah, fuck.
$1 million isn't worth it. And I was going to regale you with the story of how, now that I own a house, I was mowing the lawn and it was hot, and I got inside and I started taking a hot shower because I always take a scalding shower, and it was too hot for me. So I eased it all the way to cold. I had the water going full cold at the end, and it was refreshing. I loved every second of it. But if I have to start it cold, it doesn't work for me.
You wouldn't take $1 million.
It's too low.
Okay, I agree that it's low. $1 million is not what it used to be, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly.
$1 million is still enough that if you invest it wisely, you can either not work or work very minimally for the rest of your existence.
And enjoy a reasonable standard of living. Yeah.
Yes. And that is literally the only thing that I want. If I could have the exact standard of living that I have right now, but not work or only work like
a little
10 hours a week.
Yeah.
That's literally the only thing I want in this existence. Existence is meaningless. You're just going to die. Everyone dies. Nothing matters. That is the only thing that I want. That's it.
Can I take a hot bath?
Okay, well, I will answer the question both ways. And that answer to that question is, okay, first of all, if there's a loophole, that's the freest answer of all time.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? Yeah. I already think it's free. If there's a loophole of baths, then it's the freest answer of all time. If there's no loophole, still 100% I take the $1 million. It's so easy. What the fuck do I give a shit? I don't give a shit about no fucking cold. And I wouldn't take a cold bath is way worse than a cold shower. But taking a cold shower, what?
That's weird.
And I'm not gonna lie. I hate cold showers. I hate when my fucking water heater runs out.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it. But it's whatever. I get $1 million. The fact that I have to I have to not enjoy a shower every morning, but that I could potentially live either without working or working very minimally for a long time. Like if you're going to take the $1 million and buy like a cool car or whatever, then that's not worth it at all.
That's a poor investment.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm talking about like, if you give me $1 million right now, like, fuck you, I'm investing that shit. I'm good to go. Like, I
do this thing where I like to stand in the shower and dissociate for like an hour until I run out of hot water. And then suddenly, I
would miss that. Without
that, I would dissociate in real life.
And sometimes you dissociate with or without your penis. It depends on the kind of shower you're taking. But both of them are equally bad once the shower is cold. So, No, I am factoring
You'd never be able to jerk off in the shower again.
Yeah, and I already don't, because something that has happened to me as I've gotten older. We're going into my penis now. I can't. I literally can't. I'm not saying never. I used to jerk off in the shower all the fucking time. All the time. Why not? Just jerk off in the shower. Now, I'm in the shower, I'm cleaning, I'm getting ready for work, whatever the fuck. I fucking get going. Part of it is that I don't have the longest water heater in my apartment. It's about maybe 15, 20 minutes tops.
Which is enough time to shower.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not enough time anymore most of the time for me to jerk off in the shower. I literally have to take a shower that is for the express purpose of jerking off and not cleaning. Because
that's a real weird shower.
If I clean, right, which is why I don't do it most of the time, hardly ever. But if I clean, it's like it takes me like 10 minutes to clean. So then I only have 5 minutes to jerk off. That's not enough time. I'm not a fucking spring chicken.
Man.
If you
too old for that.
This shit, I'm trying to fucking edge for 3 hours. All right, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to edge for 3 hours and then fucking have
a good day
and fucking have a cum eruption. I don't even know what it means. I don't know what it means to fucking have sex for fucking
5 minutes.
Well, 5 minutes is normal. 5 minutes is normal. But like that's 5 minutes. 5 minutes of total sex. Like maybe you've already been you've been worked up. You were making out. 5 minutes of total sex is a long amount of sex, right? That's a fairly long amount of sex. Like just sex. But like,
it's a different game when
if you have sex for right, exactly. Yeah. If you have sex for 5 minutes or 2 minutes, or even if it's a relative quickie, and you get in there and you pump the shit out of it, you've still been doing shit for at least 5 minutes typically before you end up having sex. But when you go to jack off, no, you're just starting. You're fucking washing
from 0 to 60.
You're washing your armpit. I cannot do that in the 5 minutes I have left after I take a 10-minute shower. It can't. I usually get there and I get to the point where I think it's a good idea, and then the water starts getting a little bit cold, and I'm just like, why did I even?
And it immediately washes that.
Why did I
away.
even do this? Yeah, I'm gonna go look at Vor on 4chan. All right. So yeah, easiest question. Thank you, Hylian88, Jordan at Hylian88. The next one on my list is from A2. So at LSX Andrew. You can't follow him unless he follows you because he is old and scared of the internet.
That's a wise position.
Is it though? Okay. He asks, what is the worst game that you still love? Oh, no, there's two here. Hang on. Excuse me. Yeah, excuse me. We'll start with that, though. That's fine. What is the worst game that you still love? And a game that most people hate, and you recognize the true beauty. And for me, there's really no answer other than Brawl. What else could it be?
Yeah.
Smash Brawl is demonstrably bad in so many ways. It has several of some of the worst decisions made of all time. I think it literally has the worst decision ever made in any game, not even including competitive fighting games.
Oh, tripping?
Tripping is literally the worst thing that has ever been implemented into any video game in the history of video games. And
it makes the game less fun on purpose.
Yes, and that's not to say that there aren't games that don't effectively end up having worse mechanics, but tripping is literally a mechanic that was intentionally entered for the express purpose to make playing the game less fun, less intuitive, and less effective. It is horrible, it is indefensible, and it is the worst thing of all time. Brawl has plenty of things about it that are terrible, but there are a lot of really beautiful things in Brawl. Brawl is not my favorite video game of all time, but it's up there. You know, as we already know, Street Fighter 4 is my one fighting game that I would pick, but Brawl had a lot of things in it that were good. Chiefly that there was literally no way to beat someone in Brawl unless you had better neutral than they did, because there was no advantage state hardly.
Yeah,
there were no combos. There were some very small chain grabs or very low percent combos. And then once you were at like 40, 50%, there literally weren't combos. And so you were slightly advantaged, right? Like maybe you'd hit them, you'd have a little bit of advantage, but there was so little hit stun and there was so little like knockback that like it was basically just the only way to win at that game was winning a neutral, because that was the only thing there was in the entire game. And that's something that was really cool that a lot of games haven't done well. And I think that was really good, and I think that fits this question. But specifically, I literally think Brawl Doubles is one of the best fighting games of all time.
Because it's got so many unique strategies, right?
Yes. Brawl Doubles is one of the best fighting games that's ever existed. Just doubles. Doubles is like a whole separate game from singles. You can't... Because all the things that broke singles, not all of them, there was ultimately... I mean, Meta Knight was still an issue. Meta Knight Lucario specifically was an issue. That's a whole thing. But for the most part, it was nowhere near as big of an issue. It was still a very big issue, but it was nowhere near as big of an issue as it was in singles. A lot of the things, a lot of the chain grabs and stuff, they became like cool combo setups, or the things that made certain characters invalid because you had a partner that could help you. And then because the game was slow. Because the game was slow and there weren't a lot of combos built into the game specifically, it necessitated combos with your partner. And a lot of moves had like a set knockback, which meant that like in a singles game, you couldn't do anything. But in doubles, if I'm like DDD, my down throw has a set knockback. That means I can always set up a combo for my partner, right? So the team play was amazing. So anyway, that's it's got to be Brawl for me. I don't know what else it could be.
Oh, sure. For me, you're not going to get it. I know you want me to say Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I'm not going to do it.
I expect you to. I don't know that I want you to, but I expect you to. But you're not.
No, there's this game on the Sega Genesis called Pit Fighter. Have you played Pit Fighter?
Never heard of it.
It's a beat 'em up in the same sense as like Golden Axe and Streets of Rage, except totally different, because you're not fighting like waves and walking to the right. You're in the pit, right? And bad guys come up and it's you and hopefully a buddy, because you have to play competitively, cooperatively in that game in order to make it any kind of distance. And like you fight the executioner or you fight the weird S&M chick, and like the crowd throws like throwing stars or barrels, or if you get really lucky, you can get the power pill. And when you eat the power pill or pick it up or however you ingest the power pill, it plays this really weird effect noise, and like you start glowing, and then suddenly you can go toe to toe with all of these boss characters. I didn't know that the game was garbage until I was in like college and I played with Jeff, and he's like, "This game is horseshit. What the fuck are you? Why are we playing this?" And I was like, "Jeff, the power pill? I'll let you get the power pill. You just beat up the exit. What are you talking about?" So, Pit Fighter.
God. Never
Marvel
heard of
vs. Capcom 3 is amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you'll find anyone.
That's what's interesting is like I have played a lot of bad games in different genres, but Brawl is just so bad in the ways that it's bad. It's hard for it not to be like, I don't intend to think of a fighting game when I hear that question, but it's so hard. It's so, it'd be like the only way, if you're a Brawl player, the only way you could not, I feel like, answer Brawl in that question is if you like are a Superman 64 speedrunner, which is widely heralded as one of the worst games of all time in any genre. But Brawl is so up there, and it's really good in a lot of ways. Is what's so weird about it. It's weirdly really good, but like you cannot defend tripping. There is just
it's indefensible.
You would be a like there is no. I don't care how much you love that game, and I love it a lot. If you try to defend tripping, like just shut the fuck up.
You're wrong.
Yeah, there is just there's no room.
On Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I get a lot of the complaints, but I feel like that's what makes the game so exciting. Like people complain that the combos are too long, and they're right, the combos are really long, but like they kill characters or they run the clock, and those are both like really interesting ideas from
I always like clock running. A lot of people don't. Yeah. They think I'm joking when I say that. I love a good timeout. I love it.
Dante and
I love it.
Nova and Trish, their TAC infinites are so low damage that if you have the execution for it, you will run the clock out and not kill a character. So if you've got the life lead and you start doing, and it's the same thing for like Spencer's got an infinite that doesn't need TAC.
If the only strat is constant timeouts, that does get to be a problem. Brawl got to that at a point. I don't think any game I've played has ever been worse than Vanilla Street Fighter Cross Tekken with regard to timeouts.
Yep.
That is the
Vanilla
worst.
Skullgirls was bad.
Was it as well? Okay. But like, so there are some games like, and Street Fighter Cross Tekken is a really cool game, but the vanilla version of it, which to be honest with you, I actually like better than the final version. But there were way too many timeouts. But I love a good timeout. So yeah, Brawl had that too. I don't know, MVC3, I get why you bring it up, especially considering the conversations you and I've had. I think it's a similar kind of game to Brawl in that it's this like bad, horrible game, quote unquote, in so many ways, but is actually wonderful if you understand it. I agree with that.
And that's why it's so cool.
But even as much as I dislike MVC3 and as much shit as I give it, it is nowhere near as stupid as Brawl.
But I didn't play Brawl, and it's not one of my favorite games.
Yeah. But I guess what I'm getting at is I understand why you wouldn't necessarily pick it as that. Yeah. Brawl is, it has so many things that people disregard that are great, and it does deserve credit for, but also holy fucking shit, like tripping. Like Jesus fucking Christ.
What the fuck?
So anyway, A2's other question, which my Twitter timeline is giving me trouble with. I think it's because he sent it as a response to a response.
Yeah, so he said explain why Smash 4 Ganon's up tilt is
we're not, no,
I know.
Don't even say it out loud. Don't even say it out loud.
Okay,
that's a loaded, stupid question. Yeah, so he responded to his other one, which is, why do bottom tier players struggle to pick up top tiers? And then he asks me specifically, so you can answer part 1 and I'll answer part 1 and part 2. Okay. He asked me specifically, you picked up Palu for a bit, what happened? So I guess we'll both do part 1. So really quickly, I guess my initial response is that I don't agree that that's a thing, to be honest with you. I don't think that bottom tier players do struggle to pick up top tiers. That can happen. It can not happen. And I will say that I still don't quite consider myself a low tier hero. I mean, I have played low tiers in now Street Fighter 4. Oni became a mid tier by the end of it, though, to be fair. And I
big improvement.
Yes, by the end of Ultra. Well, but no, you were being facetious, but I do think it was.
I was.
He was Oni was literally a badly, like in the bad context, the word broken. Yes. He did not function. He was a non-functioning character. There were things that he did that just literally did not work when he first came out, and I didn't play him in that version of the game. And he slowly got better. And I think he was maybe even mid-high. I don't think so, but I don't think you'd be crazy to say he was mid-high in Ultra. I think he was mid-low. But yeah, then I play a low tier now. I apparently in Smash Ultimate I play Ganon. Yeah. Apparently I play low tiers in Grand Blue, which I didn't know was going to be a thing, but surprise.
Yashtora's top or high tier.
He's not anymore. He was.
Oh,
the patches fucked him. Yeah. But you're right. Okay. He was. Yeah. Yash. So that's a good point.
When you played him.
No, but I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you. Because Yashtora is I would call him an A tier character, not an S tier character.
He was. Yeah.
In Sam shows what he was.
He was high tier.
Yeah. He was A, not S. Top. A, not S. And so for me personally, I guess what I'm getting at is, what I do is play characters that resonate with me. That's it. I don't care if they're low tier or high tier.
I think that might be the phenomenon that he is describing in his question. And
you think it makes me a low tier player if I play someone just because I play someone who resonates with me?
No, I think that the things that resonate with you tend to be medium to bad. Like, I think you would have a lot of fun playing a Ryu type character, and in a lot of games, the Ryu type character is good, and in a lot of games, the Ryu type character is not as good. You have expressed to me before that the reason that you play Ganondorf is because he lets you big brain, big dick people, right?
Well, yes, but to your last point, I don't think Ganon is remotely similar to Ryu. So to me,
he's not.
Yeah,
he's not. Yeah, no, I wasn't saying that Ganon was. Just that
I like characters that can play against humans. That is the shortest way to describe my existence. And I don't care whether they're top tier or not. I care about whether they have a toolkit that plays versus humans. I don't like matchups.
Yes.
I want to fight humans.
Yes. And I think that on average, that doesn't necessarily make you personally a low tier hero.
I'll agree with you that it can make me more likely to be in that direction. But I absolutely do not consider myself a low tier player. I don't at all.
Either for you.
Yeah.
I like characters that have a unique quirk about them. And sometimes that means that I'm playing bad characters, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, so no, you like a specific, obvious, good gimmick thing.
Yes,
that is specifically overpowered in its element, and you don't mind it as long as that's there. And to be honest with you, I think that's an area where we cross over similarly, because when people ask me for what I look for in a character, a lot of the times the answer, when I really think about it, comes down to I've had this question before, so. It's a single oppressive move that forces my opponent to deal with it and dictates the pace of the match.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is why both of us like E Honda.
Yes.
Because no matter what is happening in the matchup, E Honda is always in control. Even if he's
got no health.
Even if he has no health and he's being fireballed to death and just jumping fireballs from a Sagat. Even if it's a losing matchup, if it's a 3-7 matchup, E Honda is the one who controls the pace. That's what I want. I want to control the pace. So I don't care when I'm Ganondorf and I get comboed to 90. I don't care. Because you have to do that, and then once you do that, I'm not dead, and I get to hit you 2 times and kill you. I want a character that always feels like it can kill you. And so going into the second part of his question, for me specifically with regards to Palu, I actually really like Palutena in Smash Ultimate. I think she's like 85 or 90% close to being a character that I absolutely would main. I think in an alternate universe where there were some very, very minor changes to Palutena, I would be a Palutena main, and then everyone right now would be accusing me of being a tier whore, just like they did when I played Brawl, which is, again, I am not a low tier player.
Yeah.
I just happen to play a low tier in this game. I am absolutely not someone who seeks out low tiers. That is not what I do. I'm just not afraid of playing a low tier, and I think that's very
I'm not
different.
afraid to be held back by.
I'm not afraid. Yes, I'm not afraid of being held back by low tier, but I do not seek them out. Yes.
X23 is definitively a worse character than Firebrand, but I like her more because she does the things that I want.
She has a reason to be. Yeah. Yes, you see a reason to play her, and you're willing to. Exactly.
Yeah.
So if Palutena did not have a teleport recovery, if Palutena had a stronger with regards to kill power forward air, and if Palutena had slightly more kill power in general and slightly less combo potential in general, I think there is like literally a 90% chance I would be a Palutena main over Ganon. Because that is she is really similar to Ganon. She is a fundamental character who dictates the pace of the match, who does not have a lot of finesse or complicated stuff, and who can play humans. If I would say if Palu is exactly how she is, but that Ganon was slightly less appealing to me, I would have also definitely dropped Ganon. The problem is I really love Ganondorf, even though he's bad. I just fucking love him, man. I love him in this game.
Because he's bad. It's despite the fact that he's
bad. I just love the way he's designed. And so it is really close with Palu for me, but I just like Ganon more. The biggest thing for me, if I had to pick a single thing, is Palu does not have explosive kill power. And again,
the same way that Ganon F Smash will just make you rage.
Yeah, and I don't need her to have Ganon levels of it. And don't get me wrong, she has ultimately no problem killing. She's not a character like that, you would say quite has a problem killing. That's not my point. My point is I like characters that have explosive kill power. That is for me in Smash, that is almost a requirement at this point. Not always.
What you're digging.
Not always, but almost. So, yeah. Do you? So, and I guess his initial question is, why do bottom tier players struggle to pick up top tiers? So, yeah, my answer is I don't think that they do. I think I just disagree with that. Do you?
I think they only struggle if they like strategies that aren't good.
Yeah, I feel like
that sometimes that's the case, and at that point, it's not that you're trying to be true to being a low tier hero; it's that you really like characters that don't fit in the meta.
Yeah, I feel like if you ultimately want to do well in the meta and you're a good player, it really doesn't matter whether you're a top tier or a bottom tier player. Yeah, you know what the meta is.
You just have to learn the matchups. You know what the case is.
Yeah, and then at that point, at a certain point, you're either going to decide that your bottom tier player is or isn't worth sticking with. And then you're going to move on. And at that point, you saying that you're the way I'm interpreting this, maybe he meant players who play bottom tier characters, but I think I disagree with it no matter way you slice it, to be honest with you, A2. I don't agree. Whether you're a person who prefers to play bad characters or whether you're a person who plays characters that you like and doesn't mind if they're bad. Either way, I don't think I disagree with the fact that either of those archetypes is predisposed to being bad with top tiers.
Sure.
I just don't agree with that. Yeah.
I would struggle to play like Zero May Cry or something. I have struggled to play Zero May Cry, which is a top tier team in Marvel 3.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense to me the way that X23 Iron Man
so you're
does.
Kind of agreeing with him a little bit then. Because to me, I don't see a problem with if I was going to pick up, I know I could put time into Palutena or Lucina and do well. But I don't want to. I want to be good with Ganon.
No, I'm not saying that it's because Zero May Cry is top tier. I'm saying because Zero May Cry is Zero May Cry. That's why I can't comprehend it.
Oh, okay. I see. You don't like it. Yeah. You don't like it because of what it does, and the fact that it is top tier is irrelevant. Yeah. Okay. We're in agreement. So.
Yeah.
The next one I have is from this is from Jeff Ponder, who's actually somebody I know in real life and does cool things about hockey on Twitter. He asks us about the new Mortal Kombat Legends Revenge movie. I actually didn't know anything about this. I looked it up based on him tweeting me about it, so I didn't know anything about it. It to me looks like a rehash of the original Mortal Kombat live action movie in animated form, which is one of the best video game to movie movies
adaptations. Yeah. Actually,
yeah, it's actually really good.
Is weird to say.
So in that regard, it's probably going to be good.
I mean, I'll probably see it.
I would watch it.
Yeah,
Second question: has Mortal Kombat lost its edge? Well, I don't know. What are you talking about? Because I think there's a lot of really cool lore in Mortal Kombat. I think a lot of the characters are really cool.
Aren't they having a lore like expansion for the latest Mortal Kombat game? Isn't that a thing? Did I make that up?
The new one, I don't know that it's specifically that, but I think that's an element of it. Yes.
Yeah.
And there's new characters coming out and yada yada. Anyway, there's cool characters. There is some cool lore backstory stuff that they can write. I think if they have a good writer, there's always the potential for the Mortal Kombat story to be good. If you're talking about the game series itself, I do think it's lost its edge. It does pretty well.
I would disagree.
Yeah. Well, okay. Here's where I'm going to go with this. I mean, in terms of the popularity, it hasn't. No, it's
lost its edge.
No, it remains incredibly popular because it has compelling characters, and most importantly, NetherRealms is the Riot Games of the fighting game community.
I'll accept that. Yeah,
they are very good at marketing. They are extremely good at marketing. They know how to tell the stories of their characters. They know how to make trailers look cool. They know how to and where to and who to market their product. So in that regard, I think Mortal Kombat has always been, if anything, other than Smash, it is the strongest fighting game. It has
franchise,
Mortal Kombat unquestionably has a stronger overall marketing presence than Street Fighter. Street Fighter is the game that everybody sort of knows. If you're remotely into fighting games, like maybe you're not a competitive player, but you like fighting games, everybody knows Street Fighter. And
you have a memory of being at an arcade.
And everyone accepts that Street Fighter is the fighting game, even if they don't really know all of the competitive stuff that you and I know. They know like Street Fighter is the one for whatever reason. But all of the people who don't know shit about anything, they all know about fatalities.
They fucking love ripping a spine out.
They all know about Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is the pug slayer, as it were. So I don't know. Has it lost its edge? I mean, NetherRealm Studios seems like an exhausting company to be a fan of. To be perfectly honest,
I can't do it. I tried to be into Injustice and it did not work.
Dude, they release a new game every fucking year or whatever.
And
they put 1,000.
The last game.
That game invalidates the last game. It could be Injustice. It could be Mortal Kombat. It could be who fucking knows. I don't know. They fucking release 1 million patches that just are crazy swings.
Explosive. Yeah.
Fucking this character was the best and most impossible character ever. Suddenly he's dog shit, and this fucking shit character is godlike. It's volatile. It's shit. I hate the way they treat their community. I can't imagine being someone like Sonic Fox who loves NetherRealm games and does well at them. I can't imagine it. It seems like a horrible, exhausting company to like. I hate it. So if you like NetherRealm games, I'm sorry that you are a masochist. Like, why would you? Why would you like them? And that's not to say they don't have good things. That's not to say they don't have.
They do things very interestingly in a way that I don't personally appreciate, but that I can understand.
I agree. I don't like the gameplay, but I'm not even going to mention that right now because that's not what we're talking about, right? Like the gameplay is it's good. It's good enough to be good competitively, even if you and I don't personally like it, which is where we both stand. I also don't like the gameplay, but we're not going to go into that.
Right.
It is gameplay that is acceptable and supports competitive play. But then they're like, hey, here's a patch 5 seconds later, and here's 3 more patches.
And here's the second patch,
And then here's a completely new game, and it's just like, holy shit, dude. Like,
leave me alone. Let it breathe.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Mortal Kombat as an IP, has it lost its edge? Absolutely not. It's a stronger IP than Street Fighter. Which is crazy. Competitively, has it lost its edge? Yeah, what's wrong with you? Why do you play those games?
It throws its edge forwards and backwards.
I would play Street Fighter 5, which I hate and want to die and burn before I ever became an NRS player.
Yep, same.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks, Jeff. That's some stuff about Mortal Kombat and NetherRealms. And then the next one I have, I think we only have 2 more.
Oh, wow. Okay, we're almost through it.
We're almost done, guys. We'll do this one because I know the least about it and it's quick. This is from Ken, who is at Nebraskan FG. I don't know who you are, but you follow me and I appreciate you partaking in this podcast. Thank you very much. Or maybe he follows someone else. I don't know. But anyway, thank you for the question. His question is KI : is it worth getting into so late in its life? KI meaning Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct.
So I don't play Killer Instinct, but I know a lot of people who really like it, and I would say that it is as worth getting into as any other beloved niche fighting game. So it would be like if right now, if you asked me if Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or Street Fighter 4 was worth getting into, the answer is probably yeah. Yeah, just know that it's not the most popular thing ever. There will be people who play it online. There is a small dedicated community. It is a decent game, but it's not a game that you can expect to hop online and constantly grind out because it's not the current new hotness. There may be times when you play it where people don't exist. It may be hard to find a local scene, but there are scenes. And my personal take on KI is that, god damn, it's so good in so many ways, and I would just never want to play it.
See, I really wish that I liked KI. So, like,
I wish I did like KI. I agree.
It's not even the gameplay.
Oh, that's a segue into our next question. That's a segue into our next question. So,
the game is too ugly for me to play, and it's not like graphically. I understand that it is very.
I think it's graphically pretty, but the gameplay design is disgusting.
I look at it and I hate it.
Really?
But yeah, it's part of the same problem why I can't play Mortal Kombat. I don't know if it's gore or what, because like gore doesn't bother me, but it's just an unattractive looking game to me. And I understand that it's got a high level of fidelity and it appeals to a lot of people, and that's fine. It's just ugly to me.
I know exactly what you're saying, and I generally agree with it. I don't agree in this particular instance 100%, and I'll go over that.
That's fine.
But I think what you're generally saying is that you dislike games that are not stylized. And I think that's super valid. You prefer a degree of stylization.
Game. Yes.
And I think that's super accurate because more quote unquote photorealistic games don't age as well because they don't have a style to them. And you notice the graphical issues. KI is not without KI is not without its stylization.
Sure.
It certainly has it, but it's a lot less than a lot of games, and it certainly leans into a degree of realism. I think the reason that it works for me is that it has extremely good, like from a technical standpoint, extremely good lighting and shadows.
Okay.
And it also has some of the best music and sound effects of any game I've ever seen in my life.
Let's play Melty Blood sometime.
Okay. I don't understand how that's relevant because Melty Blood is a hyper stylized 2D anime game and has
just music and sound effects.
Oh, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Okay. But I hate the gameplay of KI. I absolutely hate it. Killer Instinct.
I kind of like that.
No, yeah. Well, I guess that doesn't surprise me too much because you do like.
Well, sure, yeah, because the combo breaker system's about like knowledge of the combos and then knowing when to press
KI
what.
is literally like if you took every gameplay element that I hate, everything that I think holds the fighting game community back, everything that I think prevents the fighting game community from being more widespread, from being good, from being just better in every way, is the gameplay design of Killer Instinct.
Because it revolves around bursts.
It is effectively not even just but not even just the bursts. Yeah. It's a quote unquote anime game. Like the art isn't anime, but it's an anime game in terms of the gameplay style.
Defensive mechanics.
It is just fucking move, button. Fucking every single interaction is a 47 hit combo with 3 combo breakers and 3 counter. I hate everything about it. I hate it. I thought Killer Instinct, the original on Super Nintendo, was really cool and had God, dude, the art is so great.
Very stylized.
The character design is great. The characters are unique. They have cool moves. They're compelling. I thought it was really neat. I played it and button mashed when I was like 2, but now that I'm like, I was, 8 or 10
adult.
or whatever the fuck. But yeah, on Super Nintendo. But like now that I like play fighting games, like when I look at the gameplay design of Killer Instinct, and I think, to be fair, the new Killer Instinct gameplay design is super true to the original Killer Instinct. I think it was done with love and care and done as well as it could be. I just hate it.
Doesn't personally appeal.
I
have the same problem. I can't look at it.
I hate it. Yeah, I just hate it, man. Yep. So, but anyway, it is worth getting into if you like it. Yes. There are people who love it. It is still supported and has a good netcode. What's not to like?
In these trying times,
it's one of the. Okay, if we ignore the gameplay design, which I hate and despise and think is atrocious, it is one of the best constructed fighting games of all time, in my opinion.
Certainly. Yep.
It has excellent netcode. It has a great graphics engine. It had really good developer support. It was free to play. Like, Killer Instinct, this is like a ridiculous statement, but like if I just liked the game, would have been one of my favorite games of all time. Like, they
did everything right for somebody else.
They did everything right except the gameplay for me. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, it's a great game. It's a great game. I hate it, but it's a great game.
But you might like it. So
but I think I'm coming across. It's funny, but yeah. But like yeah. Nebraskan. Like it is objectively a great, well-made game that I hate and would never play. And yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yep. Yep. All right. The last question is from the Milk Monster 5 on Twitter. This is someone I played Brawl with. His name is Milk. He went by the Milk Monster. He's a cool dude. He asks I guess this actually can't include you since we know
I have two Smash memories.
Lex is a smasher. What is your favorite Smash memory? And what is a game you wish you liked but can't get into? So I think Killer Instinct is a good one just to get that out of the way for the game you wish you liked and can't get into.
For me, it's Tekken. Because I really
That's a good answer. I agree.
I would grow and learn as a player if I would be able to take.
I just don't like it Tekken. Though. Yeah,
I can't comprehend 3-dimensional space.
I can. I love Soul Calibur.
I can't.
I love Soul Calibur. And it's made by the same company. It's the same thing.
Namco.
It's just different. The reason it's different, what I don't like about Tekken, is that there's no range. And so every Tekken match, not every Tekken match, I'm being hyperbolic, but I don't know, fucking 85% of Tekken matches are people just run right up to each other and start.
Well, they Korean wave dash up to
whatever. Yeah, sure. But then they just start pressing buttons right in their face. And it's like that. And I'm not, again, just like Killer Instinct, not saying it's not a good game, not saying it doesn't take an immense amount of skill to be good at it. Absolutely. It absolutely does. But I hate it. I hate the design. I'm not interested in that. And yet, if you give me Soul Calibur, I love Soul Calibur. It's the same game. The only difference between Soul Calibur and Tekken is that Soul Calibur is slow and has range. Tekken is fast and has no range. And otherwise, they're the same.
Variety in there that you want.
They're the same. Yeah. Well, I hate games that are just super duper Unga Bunga. I hate it. I like playing Unga Bunga, which I think confuses people. But I want to play Unga Bunga.
You want to be the only one.
Yeah. Not the only one, but I want the game to not be Unga Bunga. Yeah, I just think that's better. You'll never convince me otherwise. I think it's better to have games that are more slow paced.
Sure.
And that's not to say they have to be immensely slow.
Them faster.
Yeah, sure. I mean, these are opinions that people have.
Personal.
So yeah, I think Tekken's a good answer. Good answer from you. Yeah, I would agree with that. My favorite Smash memory, God, I don't know, dude. There's like a million. Holy shit. I think a big one is Joker's tournaments in Iowa. Joker was awesome. He lived in a house with a million other people that no one knew, and he just lived in the basement. And he was like, hey, I'm going to host Smash tournaments in my basement. And we would drive to Iowa and go to this dude's house, and they'd have fucking... Yeah, dude, they'd have like a million nerds in their basement, and there'd be a million other people upstairs that didn't know why we were there. We would get there, and I'd be like, Joker, is this your dad? He's like, no, that's just it was like just a house that a lot of people lived in. And I was like, oh, it's not your dad. And he was like, yeah, that's Bob or whatever his fucking name is. And I'd be like, all right. And it was like really scary at first because you showed up and you were like, I'm here to go to the basement, and some guy you didn't know was like,
go to your basement.
Yeah, and and then you got downstairs, and then it was like, oh, there's Joker. That's the guy we go to the tournaments with, and everything's great, and we go to this basement, and it was this amazing, interesting thing where we'd have 50 fucking people in this dude's basement, dude, like fucking doing these brawl tournaments, and I loved them. They were so great. Joker was cool. He was a fucking cool ass dude. All the fucking people in Iowa were fucking cool as shit. Iowa and Missouri had like a fucking love in the brawl days. Iowa and Missouri was like, that's where you probably Endgamer 3K.
Yes, he went to a lot of max outs.
He was in the basement playing Smash with me before Street Fighter 4 existed. He was a shitty Yoshi player who I always shit on, and then he was randomly really good at Street Fighter 4, which was crazy. I took my roommate to Iowa with me one time. We did DDD Luigi in doubles, and we got third in like a big ass fucking 40-man doubles tournament. Like, yeah, dude, that's up there. But also, God, I don't know, everything. Like the first time I won a local tournament, and then when I kept winning local tournaments, and I remember thinking, and this is like back to the low tier thing, like, you know, I remember like I played high tier characters. And I remember looking at these characters and being like, if I just do XYZ, there's no way this person can beat me. Even though I think this person is better at the game than me. There's this Jigglypuff player, and he like was beating me all the time. And I would just be like, what the fuck? Why am I losing to you as King Dedede? And then I remember just thinking, like, having like a moment of clarity mid-set. Like, I remember the moment I became the best player in St. Louis.
The epiphany.
I remember the moment I was the best player in St. Louis at Street Fighter, or at Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Like, and it was only about, you know, it was a little less than a year, but I was the first, like, I was a thing for a minute. And I remember thinking, like, oh my God, every time he does this thing with Jigglypuff, I can shield grab it and I can back throw, and he takes 16% damage, and he's just gonna die. And I was like, I can just beat him with attrition, and I did.
You solved it,
and I did, and I was like, holy shit. So yeah, those are all. I don't know. There's so many good Smash moments. I don't know. Hosting shit every week. We had dollar tournaments at my apartment. That was fucking great. Like, there's so. I don't even know if I could.
Fun.
I don't even know if I could pick one, dude. Like that.
Quantify just one.
Smash Brawl is like my family. Like Street Fighter 4 is my game, but like Smash Brawl is my family. Yeah,
they're your people.
They're my dudes. What about you?
And
I guess you could say any memory. I think if you don't want to do a Smash one.
No, I'll do Smash.
Okay.
I'll play by the rules.
Okay.
I have spent most of my Smash career in a fugue state, so there's that. But actually, I was thinking about this. You and I went to Combo Breaker, and we were playing doubles in tournament, and we were playing against this team, and I don't remember who they played, but they shit on us the first game, and I was just like, well, I guess that's it. I think it might have been like our second or third round in winners, and you turned to the side, and they were like they had picked their characters, and they were readied up on the screen, and you did that thing where you turned to the side, and you stop having a high pitched "Wow, I will" voice, and normally this voice is reserved for Lex. What the fuck was that? Why why did you do that? And you've used this voice. The first time I heard it was in at Evo.
My doubles voice.
The doubles voice. The first time I heard this was at Evo for Street Fighter 4. You came over and you were watching my pool, and you leaned in and you were like, "But like, why do you keep jumping in though? Like, why?" Wait, just play.
The
like
rare moment when I subtly say something, so it's extra emphasized because I never do it. Okay.
Yeah. So you turn to me and you use doubles will voice, and you say, "Just take the other guy. Take the." I think he was playing Pikachu. You're like, "Take the Pikachu. Just take him away from me, and we'll be fine. Just take him away." And so I was like, all right, fuck it. This guy's better than me. I don't even really play Smash, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to insert my body between Will and this Pikachu player, and whoosh, I got out there. And
this is Yoshi Ganondorf. We're Yoshi Ganondorf.
Yoshi Ganondorf. Okay. That was our team. And maybe he was playing Fox or whatever.
I think we fought like a Fox Pikachu team. I think you're right. Yeah.
And you were like, just take him away, because I can't. If you take him away, then I'll be able to do my job. Yeah. And I took him away, and you did your fucking job. You did the forward smash. You killed a guy, and then like you turned around, and he was like, "Holy shit! Did you just kill my friend?" And you murdered him. And I spent the rest of the game walling him out, because you were like choking his friend to death. And he was like, "Buddy, no, let me at it." And I inserted myself as a wall, and I was like, "You shall not pass. I am the wall." Cuckoo Kachu.
Oh my God, you are an excellent support player. Is this when you learned that doubles was amazing? Is this
then? Yeah, because I saw him, the guy in real life, just get madder and madder.
Yeah, because
I was like, "Oh shit, it's working."
Smash doubles is the best thing of all time. There is literally nothing better than Smash doubles. It is a crime against humanity that more people do not play Smash doubles. There is nothing in this world like it. There's no other game that is like it. That is, I've never heard this story from you. That is an excellent telling. I thought you were going to say, I don't remember that match as specifically. I do remember it, but not like as core. I thought you were going to say there was the one where we almost lost, and then I got a 0% down air on the Palutena.
Yes.
and killed him.
Oh yeah. I remember that right before we got shat on by Yeti.
Yeah. Oh god, dude, Yeti and Comet fucked us up so hard, dude. But that guy is someone from the Iowa crew. Is why, so my brain was going there. Yeah, he was one of the Iowa players, and he was like, "Hey, are you MetalMusicMan that you sound?" I'm like, "Yeah." It is. So anyway, that's a really good memory. Yeah, no, that's so adorable because doubles is beautiful. Doubles
it is. I didn't know that.
Smash doubles is so beautiful, and we haven't played, dude. We haven't played in God.
We haven't played anything in a minute.
Because sure, but Smash Online in particular is just so bad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Garbage.
Yeah. Anyway. Holy shit.
Yeah, right. So that's your 3-hour extravaganza.
We're coming up on 2 hours. I don't think I'm going to split it. Fuck it. We're just going to...
That's fine.
Fuck it. We're going to upload it. It'll be 2-hour one. Thank you, everyone, for your questions.
Yeah, good questions. Thank you for the support and the love.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you guys to hear your answers.
Yeah, me too. I hope everyone likes them. This went so much better than I expected it to. I thought we were going to get one question. And it was going to be how do you feel about, I don't know, flutes? Something random. But
pro flute, generally, I guess.
Yeah. All right, well, I have been MetalMusicMan.
And I've been Professor Lex.
And this has been a question and answer session. We thank you all, and we will catch you guys next time.
See you guys.